Hey guys, this is Katina Talk. Go fuck yourself. We're gonna talk about the Mandalorian episode XXX.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
I was not
Who wants to say they go
expecting.
fuck yourself part?
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Right up the ass. No lube.
That's an enemy. I was not expecting this episode to be as good as it was.
Yeah? Oh. Sorry, I almost fell to my death. I one thing that stood out to me, one thing I was not expecting that, I watched it a second time and kind of caught my eye. Like, with Boba Fett, when it came to Grogu or whatever, like when he has what's her face Fennec aiming at him,
Mm-hmm.
it was like after like Mandalorian said, just don't whatever to the child, don't hurt the child. After he called it a child, it seemed like Boba Fett kind of changed his attitude towards it, like this is more than a target, because then he's like, all right, let's put the weapons down. It doesn't have to get violent. But before that, he's like, yeah, I'll blow his fucking brain off.
I don't even know if that even equated to him changing his demeanor because it did seem like he was just there for his armor and nothing more, and that he truly did not want to get violent if he didn't have to.
Right, but still, he still went from, give it to me now, or I'll shoot you, or I'll shoot the child, to, hey, this is a child, oh crap. Not necessarily that it was because it was a child, but I kind of wonder if it was, like looking at it like, oh, father-son relationship, going back to his past. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, probably, but it still kind of stood out to me.
Oh fuck! Yeah, it definitely could have. Like I said, it could have factored to it. That's just not the way I saw it, and I'm known to be wrong though. Like I said, I was not. That episode was like right out the gate really badass. But I did like want to mention the the way that Grogu was meditating with the temple or site. It kind of does remind me of Cal's meditation
Yeah.
in this game, The Fallen Order. And these four sites, they were created by the Zepho had something to do with these sites and stuff. So maybe Mandalorian's gonna bring the Zepho in. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because it kind of brought me back to the campaign in Fallen Order.
I did read something over the weekend. The transcript, like the text that's around where Grogu is meditating, is just like an ancient. It's an ancient language. I forget what it was called, but there is a book that you can buy at Galaxy's Edge that will let you decode and decipher that language. There's some of it
Hmm.
in Jedi Fallen Order, so it could be Zepho.
That's
I like
interesting.
that.
I'll have to buy that when I go to Florida.
Yeah, I'll have to scan all the paper when you bring it back.
No, but yeah, the Zepho is what came to my mind when I first saw it because ultimately the Zepho turned to the dark side, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that either. I don't know much about the Zepho.
I've only played through this game once, so I don't know.
So I've never beaten it. Yeah, I was just
Oh,
I
oh,
thought I thought the way that they handled Boba Fett was also really cool.
yeah,
It gave us a reason to believe he's a badass instead of just being a dude who looks cool.
yeah. They really kind of gave him redemption in that episode
Well,
and showed his core honor code.
I don't know if it's full redemption, but it's definitely a start because he literally has had no reason to be considered a legend up until now. We've just seen a fraction of what.
I mean, he was a very renowned 12-year-old bounty hunter. That's still pretty badass, but
I get that, but the thing is, he did nothing in order for everyone to be afraid of him in the cinematic
Yeah,
universe, anyways. I mean, obviously, if you've read comic books, he was a
yeah. They
very
eventually added it in.
hardcore bounty hunter, obviously, like Brandon just said.
Yeah, they definitely later on kind of added it in, but in his initial introduction, other than like the Christmas special that I've never seen, but other than the Christmas thing that all you ever saw him do was stand around and then get hit in the jetpack and fall into a giant pit of death and regret. So yeah, they're actually, and again, if you've watched all the animated series, obviously you see more of him building himself up and taking his father's training and making a name for himself. But this really is going to open up the opportunity to show, like, hey, this is why he's legendary. Like, I love all of his different weapons, like the wrist cannon and the knee cannon and like all the different things. You're like, oh,
The little staff that he used is a Fijian staff.
yeah,
So I had a lot of like Islander inspiration because he is Maori,
So
but that's also a weapon that the Tusken Raiders
as
use.
I say, that was a Tusken Raider weapon, and I never
yeah,
realized it could do that much damage ever.
oh yeah, right through
Getting
that armor.
fucking wrecked.
Let's
But
see.
all in all, I
It's
was
also the
really
first time that they've canonized Boba or Jango being anything part of the Mandalorian culture.
Yes. Well, there was a comic back in like 2006 or something like that that kind of showed, like, it was about Jango Fett and it went over how he was a Mandalorian and how the Jedi slaughtered everybody. I don't remember the
Anything
specifics because I was young, but it's obviously
anything
a
before,
legend.
I was gonna say anything before 2015 other than that one Darth Maul run is not considered canon.
Yeah. Yep. Then that's what I was obviously going to get to, but yeah, after that purge, after Disney's Order 66, then yeah, they didn't really have anything. It's been up for speculation since Mando came out. Was everybody's like, well, is Boba Fett a Mandalorian? And everyone's arguing about it. And now we have clarity.
didn't
No, Boba's not.
didn't
Well,
someone in the
it's
old
funny because even the Death Watch kind of told him to fuck off at one point. Like they didn't see him as part of their order. So I mean, you could still say that he's a fake Mandalorian, but this gives some validation to it.
didn't I could have swore someone in according to Django or Boba Fett, someone in one of the cartoons didn't they say that, or in the movie or something, didn't they say that he's not a Mandalorian? I could have swore it was about Django.
Sabine, I think, or
Well,
not Sabine.
that's also the thing. A lot of the Foundlies, including Din, are not technically Mandalorians. They're Mandalorian by like appropriation.
Well, I knew that. What I was saying though is they kind of hinted toward it already that Django and Bubba were not traditional Mandalorians; they were foundlings. That's
Yeah,
what I
I
was
think
getting
when
at.
Obi-Wan's talking to his girlfriend. Let's see what we're saying. So yeah, Obi-Wan when he was talking to her on Mandalore, um, because he brought that up. It's like, yes, I've run into one, and they're like, nah, bruh.
So it's kind of yeah.
So
So I'm pretty sure they did.
And just again, that's where we're talking about Death Watch because Satine didn't even think that Death Watch were Mandalorians, like the organization. Period. Even
yeah,
though it was run by Pre Vizsla.
yeah, that's true. I thought it was kind of silly though how close Boba Fett flew to the light cruiser though, because I'm like, yeah, I feel like Moff Gideon would have been like, yeah, blow him out of the sky.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I
I was like, what
mean,
the hell is he doing?
I'm also. I mean, it's just a light freighter. It's not going to be something that's going to take down that light cruiser.
Yeah, but still, you know how Moff Gideon is. He's just kind of savage. Like I can see him doing that just to make sure Mando was stuck on the planet.
Yeah, just to do it because he's done stuff like that before in the past just to prove a point. Like
Yeah,
destroy an entire bar.
yeah, kill his own people.
So yeah, I was a little worried about Slave One there, but it was really cool seeing it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I'm excited for those thermal charges.
I was to say, whenever I tell you I got hype when I saw Slave One, it was mainly for those thermal detonator charges or the seismic charges.
Seismic, yeah. My bad.
Either way, they sound awesome and they're wonderful.
Yeah, because there's definitely sound in space.
They create a vacuum, or they create like an air bubble around it so you
Yeah.
can hear it.
It's the engineer. He's like, we have to make sure we can hear it because it's boring if you can't. They're like, all right, we'll figure it out.
Done. Either way, I'm glad they
uh,
did figure it out.
yeah. Um, and then the what is it? The mortar stormtroopers. Those guys are badass. Like I just like the armor.
That was the Phase 1 Dark Troopers, which I thought were the coolest looking. They're robotic, but they're our Dark Troopers are intertwined with the Force, correct?
I don't think so.
Later on, I think they are.
Well,
I read something
that's what
about
they
that.
needed the child for.
I
Because whenever they had
think
to
the
rescue
child.
him, they were obviously experimenting on him on
Well,
that
the fact that
base.
Gideon was
I'm
saying
pretty
we
sure
have a donor.
I'm pretty sure the child's going to either the creation of Snoke or bringing back Palpatine. But I think Palpatine came back from just Sith magic, like he said. But
Well,
I'm
he's
pretty sure it's
probably
going into
to
the whole
heal him.
Snoke thing, which is gonna make me upset. But it's whatever.
It's either Snoke or because let's see, how long is Disney's trilogy from uh the original trilogy? How
It's
many
like
years?
17 years.
17. Because right now we're sitting at 5 years. So
Actually, no, I think it's more than 17. Because that's the difference between 3 and 4.
because yeah, that would be the thing is Snoke a fast-growing clone or has he been around for a while? Like how long did it take for them to set up the First Order? Because obviously we're 5 years out. First Order is not around. It's still Emperor or Empire.
The First
So
Order was in construction shortly after like Palpatine fell. That's where the storyline of Battlefront 2 comes in with Operation Cinder,
oh yeah.
is bringing back the Empire essentially with the First Order. And at the end of it, it actually shows like a little clip of Kylo Ren doing some weird mind probing shit.
Oh fucking hell!
But I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that this is going to be leading into one of those two areas.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the one thing I'm wondering too is how much is it going to lead into that and how long it took for everything to get going because um, right now, obviously they're reestablishing and rebuilding, or at least, regrouping.
I can't wait to see Thrawn make a reappearance.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're either gonna see him in the very last episode, like for like a little teaser for next season, or we're not gonna get a visual until next season even comes out. Kind of like what
We're
you
gonna
said.
get at least we're at least gonna get a hinting at it, but you can't have Thrawn without addressing Ezra. So I think we're also gonna get some Ezra.
Yeah, I fully expect Ezra to be part of any arc when it comes to Thrawn. I'm fully expecting it because, like you said, you can't even mention him without talking about Ezra because they're together,
Yeah. Which means there'll be a lot more with her,
which I'm
or
all
with
about.
Ahsoka. Oh yeah.
So
Ahsoka's by far my favorite Star Wars character,
I
so
did a little
I'm very
Yeah.
research.
excited.
Love Boba Fett's beer gut.
Oh, when he put the
Finally.
armor on.
Yeah, finally a body type I can achieve, like
I swear they weren't even trying to hide it though. As soon as he like steps into frame after having the armor, it's like he's sticking the gut out, and I loved it.
strutting his stuff. It's like finally society's expectations.
But
I can I can live up to this.
I was all about his skill set there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Damn
they
it.
did a good job. So I'm hoping he kind of fixes the armor up too, because that was another thing I noticed is a lot of the pieces were like dangling on. So I'm wondering how much he's going to do to fix it up, or if he's just going to be like whatever.
What piece was dangling on?
So like the over the chest, I noticed from side view it was kind of like really not attached to the cloth.
I think the knee rockets were
Oh, they
ridiculous.
were
Yeah.
dope. I was not expecting. I didn't realize his armor had that function. It probably didn't until Friday.
I think I read something about it a while ago actually. Um,
No heckin' clue.
but But I loved how the stormtroopers looked down after he shot two guys, and the ones looked down. He's like, "Oh, retreat!"
Retreat.
It's like, well, I doubt it has a lot of ammo. He's probably out.
I
But
wasn't
I don't know.
expecting Razor Crest to get destroyed like that.
Oh, I know.
It got molested.
Like
Like as soon as
obliterated.
it got destroyed, I was just screaming, "Oh no! It's '97 Honda Civic!"
All of his toys.
A
Oh
lot of
man.
shit.
I've seen like a
Yeah.
a couple TikToks following up on it. It's like everybody bought the Razor Crest for like $150 whenever you could just, and then they throw like Legos at a wall.
Yeah. um. Yeah. I wonder what he's gonna do for a ship now, or if it's just gonna be the
He's gonna be
Slave
a
One,
slave
or if
one for a
somehow.
minute, because it's gonna
So
take
now
a
he's
while to get
he's
that.
kicking it with Boba.
It's gonna take a while to get that to get Grogu back.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
he's gonna
wonder
be-
too. I wonder too if somehow he's gonna end up with the Slave One. Like if something's gonna happen to Boba Fett and he gets it, or if he gets his own ship again, or I wonder where they're gonna go with that. Like if Boba Fett's gonna survive through this campaign or this story, you know?
I can't imagine them killing Boba off so soon.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not saying it
have
would
you
be
seen
quick.
Return of the Jedi?
That's true.
It's a homage to his past. Well, what
Give
bugs
us
me,
a
the only
little
reason George
Easter egg.
Lucas, yeah, the only reason George Lucas even did anything to Boba was because he was so popular and he didn't want a villain to be popular. I'm like, that's dumb.
Oh, but then his dumbass didn't. He didn't learn his mistake with Maul. Like,
Yeah.
don't include such a badass villain if you don't want them to be popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand his way of thinking on that.
Hot take: George Lucas is an idiot.
He's a moron. You'll never
Definitely
hear
has
me
his moments.
disagree. Moments of extreme stupidity.
No,
one
he's
saw coming,
he's
or...
he's extremely creative. I appreciate what he did with the world, but at this point, just let Dave Filoni take over.
Absolutely. Absolutely there. Like George Lucas's vision with the direction of Dave Filoni for sure.
I can get behind that. Because like that is one thing that I appreciate about George Lucas is his vision. Like, he knows what he wants, and I appreciate that. But Dave Filoni is a mastermind of Star Wars, and he's right now after the Rise of Skywalker, he's the only person I trust.
He needs somebody to kind of be like, hey, dude, that's dumb. Like, I love what you're doing here. But I guess he just needs a good team, Dave Filoni, to kind of help keep his direction, on track. Like when I was hearing about what he was planning on doing if he hadn't sold to Disney, I was like, I don't like that idea. And he agrees. He's like, everyone would have hated what I would have done. So even he knows.
Well, it's good he can accept the fact that he's wrong on some things.
I saw a funny interview though somebody was doing with George Lucas years ago, and I think this was actually around 2012 when the world was supposed to end, and somebody asked him, like, was interviewing him, was like, about that, and talking about it. He's like, hey, do you have a spaceship? And George Lucas kind of hinted, like, yeah, I do. And he's like, can I come? And George Lucas just stared at him.
Just a blank stare. Like, you answered
Yeah.
that question.
You ain't coming, buddy. This is my. Or no, he asked if he had his own Millennium Falcon. It was what it was.
He better.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would.
that
I'd have
would
a fully functioning one.
Alright, kid. No, but
I am.
next episode I'm expecting filler. But again, I was not expecting this last
Yeah.
episode to be so action packed. I was expecting this episode to be filler.
No, with how
Yeah.
many episodes that they have left and the amount of characters that they've brought in, I don't think it's gonna be filler. And if it is, then
There's gonna be a lot of
I
disappointment.
mean, I don't. Yeah,
I
don't know.
think it'll be a filler in the sense of him trying to get more like a gear or a ship. I think he'll stay in Slave One, but I think it'll kind of that's going to be part of the plot now is him trying to rebuild everything.
No, he's obviously
I
gonna.
mean,
try
he
to
doesn't
break
have to
his
worry
face out of
about
jail.
he doesn't have to worry
Yeah.
about his Honda Civic breaking down anymore.
Yeah.
He's
Or
got Slave One.
the Mon Calamari fixing it all weird, putting trackers in it.
I mean, the Mon Cala were some of the better engineers.
Oh, for sure.
They did not do a lot
Like,
with 1,000 credits though. They
You
could have
lost
done
me.
better. Whenever they fixed his
Oh,
ship to
oh.
begin with. It's
Yeah.
like this is the best you could do with 1,000
Yeah.
credits.
I was like,
What do you
what?
expect 1,000 credits to do?
Apparently, the value of 1,000 credits is a lot higher in the Star Wars universe than it would be here.
Well, apparently they just spent it all on, nets and rope and
Skooma.
they just went down to the local boat shop.
I just need this, this, and this. Super
Like, it's
glue and
kind of the
duct
same
tape.
thing.
The stupid ropes. We could see Thrawn next episode.
No, we're not going to see Tron next
No,
episode.
it's gonna
He's going to
be,
be like end of the line.
yeah. If anything, yeah. Um, yeah, I think next episode's mostly gonna be around getting that one guy out of the whatever the prison,
Yeah,
whoever that. Yeah.
most likely is. I can't remember his name.
Bill Burr.
The actor.
Yeah, I'm excited though where they're taking it. It's getting a lot more serious,
was
and they've
ex-
introduced a lot of good characters.
I was expecting them to at least, open the damn temple.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Grogu to just fall asleep and nothing literally happen.
Well, he wasn't. His purpose wasn't to open the temple. His purpose was to reach out,
Yeah.
and he
That's
he
true.
reached out.
So who did he reach out to? I wonder.
Ezra.
Just out. Well,
I know,
I
but
saw a theory yesterday saying that in the Rise of Skywalker, whenever it's showing that little clip of Luke and Leia training on Endor, whenever they get distracted, like maybe that was Grogu, because it fits up with the timeline, but I don't think it was, because immediately after that little clip in Rise of Skywalker, they talk about how Leia saw her son dying. Ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if Luke made an appearance, but I really don't want it.
oh no, he's going to make an appearance. They've already started trying to cast
No,
him.
that's speculated. It hasn't been confirmed.
Has it not? Oh, I thought I saw a confirmation on it.
I don't think I'd want Luke to show up.
I don't either.
Just
I
Yeah,
let the
I want the
storyline die.
Skywalkers just to be done.
Yeah, let the storyline die. It ended gay
Well-
and let it just
Kill it
finish
if you
off.
have to.
I don't know if I'm strong enough. No, like I'm okay.
I know
with
what I
them
have to do,
doing-
but I don't have the strength to do it.
Like I'm okay with them doing more Skywalker stuff to the side, but they don't need to bring it into every successful thing they do. It's like, come on, let us have something
For real.
that's not involved.
I think that with Dave Filoni at the helm, he's using it as an opportunity to bring in a lot of not as well-known characters, because we've already gotten Ahsoka dropped in there, and that's pretty solid. It gives us a little bit more information about like background characters.
You really call her
And
a
I think-
not well-known character though.
Well, a lot of the Star Wars fans don't watch the animated
That's
series.
true. So yeah, you're probably right.
They're missing out.
Like especially like the older audience, absolutely they're missing out. But like the older audience specifically, they've only seen like the 9 core films, and so they see somebody like Ahsoka, they're like, who the fuck is that? And then your only response is go watch the Clone Wars. But this is hopefully they're using it as a platform to actually give people an idea of who these characters are.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
It does give opportunity, or at least opens the door for people to find that stuff. Because there's so much. Like, obviously, I feel like Clone Wars didn't get good till after season 3. Like, it was good, but it really like captivated me after season 3.
That's whenever they realized their audience
Yeah,
was
they-
a more matured.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like, 'cause
I
that's
wouldn't
that's
say
whenever
I'm
they went through
mature.
like a dramatic. I'm saying that's whenever they went through like a dramatic, like design change of
Yeah.
like their outfits and everything, and then a lot of different, just a lot of different ideals were brought into it. It's just a lot more mature from that point on.
He chose wisely.
Yeah, that was one thing I really liked about they showed in the series was you would randomly see like an ARC trooper in like phase 2 armor, or where the rest of the troops are still phase 1, and then it transitioned to the other guys, to the other troops. I liked that.
So you're talking about just the different phases of the armor, how you liked how it showed them progressing.
Yeah,
more.
there's just the little details like that.
Okay. Was it phase
Yeah,
2 is
yeah.
your favorite, Brandon?
Phase 2, yeah.
Phase 1 is my favorite. I
I-
forget both of us are named Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too.
Okay,
Damn
so
it, we're running into this again. I really liked though that Rex. He took the Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmet and welded it together.
when did he do that?
It never showed it, but that's if you look at the helmet, it's got weld marks down the side and on the top.
Oh, I never paid that close attention to his helmet.
Oh, I love their helmets. Oh, yeah, cause he liked the whatever the visor better.
I like how they actually confirmed that Rex was on indoor with them to finish it off.
I like it, but I also don't like it. Like I hate when they do that, but I also really like Rex, so I was okay with this one.
Rex is pretty awesome. Brandon's favorite clone is Cody.
He's my
That's a
second favorite.
lie.
Well, I'm
Cody's,
proud to say he's my second.
Cody's a traitor.
He didn't have a choice.
If he listened,
Fives is my favorite.
Yeah, Fives is a good one. I wasn't too big on the Bad Batch or whatever they're called. I wasn't too big a fan, but I am
They
excited.
felt way too gimmicky.
Yeah, it didn't fit to me.
does that mean you're not excited for their spinoff?
I mean,
I am.
I'm not very excited for it, but I mean, something good's bound to come out of it. Like, I'm not gonna complain, but I'm not super hype on it.
Yeah, well, I think part of it was because they were just thrown into it out of nowhere, and
Kinda
so we
were.
didn't really have a chance to build up you know, a relationship with them.
It was the perfect opportunity to bring back the commandos. If they would have been like Republic commandos, I would have been a lot more hype about it.
Yeah,
But they're just a bunch of mutated clones, differently mutated clones. I mean, it's still cool, but I feel like commandos would have been cooler.
yeah, that would have made more sense that they would have put them with the commandos.
Nothing about Star Wars makes sense though, so why would they do that?
I guess it depends on if Kathleen Kennedy was involved or not. I do not like her.
I'm not sure a
She
lot of people
doesn't make
do.
smart decisions. The only smart decision she's made is hiring on Dave Filoni.
Yeah, he should take her place.
Honestly.
They should just give it to him. They should just be like, all right, we're just going to take commission. All of LucasArts is yours, brother. I would worship that man. I already do, so it's all right.
It's the cowboy hat, isn't it?
It's the cowboy hat. Those beautiful chubby cheeks.
I just feel like him and Jon Favreau have done a fantastic job on The Mandalorian.
John
Yeah.
Favreau has done. I love John Favreau. I'm so.
Yeah, he
The
was a good
casting,
choice.
the casting for Ahsoka was perfect.
Oh, Rosario
Yeah.
Dawson. Yeah.
Rosario Dawson kicked ass. You know, she was like trained at the same place Hayden Christensen was.
Really.
Hayden Christensen. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. The one thing, and you know, in interviews they kind of explained it, but how her head tails or whatever they're called were not as long as they
Leku.
should have been. Yeah, they weren't as long as they should be.
They did look a little
That was
short.
my main. That was my main gripe, but it's all because they wanted maneuverability.
Yeah, like I said, they explained it later on, but I was like, okay, I'll take it because I love Ahsoka. I'll accept this, but CGI.
In a perfect world, yes, I want her Leku longer, but I absolutely love what we got.
Yep, no complaints.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely not going to complain about it.
very pleased.
And there's a certain look that it has. CGI wouldn't have fit the Mando's aesthetic.
Yeah, kind of like with those stormtroopers that were CGI in the last episode. That was.
Yeah.
I was like, they don't have that kind of maneuverability.
Sure
What
they
do I
do.
know?
It's the most flexible armor in the galaxy.
Yeah, definitely not that quiet.
It's not like they were super heavy or anything.
Oh man, I love too in the animated series, the Rebels, how Rex is always making fun of Stormtrooper armor not being as good as clone armor. I can't even see in this thing. I do like that his ship like liquefied though. Like I watched it again
It
and paused it. Like
disintegrated.
it literally was liquefied. When I paused it on the scene, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like molten.
It does not exist anymore.
I just imagine it's a lot like the Mac cannon from Halo. Just
Yeah.
absolutely rail it.
Yeah, they were not messing around. They're like, look, this ship has taken a lot. We're not giving him a chance to fix it.
Well, I just
Not
don't.
this time.
Why did they not focus on Slave One at all? You would have
Well, he
thought
might
he
have.
would have, you know, he would have taken all the precautions and taken out Slave One as well.
Because they were fully aware of Razor Crest. Like they had a fucking tracker on
Yes,
it.
that's true.
Yeah, I imagine.
Plus plot armor.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the um, Slave One probably has some more tech on it to keep it stealthed or hidden from sensors, stuff like that, and he probably parked it far enough away.
I'll have more information on it next time, but I remember a couple years ago, Slave One is of a series of like 7 ships, and they were used in like space Alcatraz, essentially. Extremely high security prisons, so the tech on those things is next level, even for where they're at in the Galactic Republic. So it's an insanely high tech ship.
I was wondering why it's called Slave One though, so I automatically assumed there was more than one of that ship.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's a series of 7, but that number I could be wrong about.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a cool bit of information.
Yeah, I like that. I love the little obscure facts that you don't hear anywhere else.
Other than from Brandon. At the very beginning of the episode, the Mando kept saying Grogu's name over and over, and then he said, "The nice lady said I had to find more Jedi for you," and you can hear Grogu blow a raspberry. So
Oh.
it kind of makes it seem like he's had, annoying interactions with Jedi before.
Probably, probably was a little troublemaker.
It seems like he
I mean-
may have been
So he probably got a lot of disciplinary action.
eating babies and shit.
Well, and another question is,
Fucking love it.
who? He's eating the other Jedi kids.
Yeah.
He helped Anakin.
Yeah. He ate though what was left. Well, I wonder who was actually the one who got him out. You know?
That's what I've been thinking about. Is how the fuck did he get out of there?
I've seen a lot of things. People are like, I'm really hoping it was Mace Windu. I'm like,
Well, I mean,
I hate that theory. I fucking hate that theory.
when Ahsoka was talking
Like
to the
Mace Windu fell from a massive tower. He is dead.
I can debate that one because I mean,
You
they've
could make the
survived
argument
worse.
for Maul, but Maul kept himself with the pure hatred for Obi-Wan. So unless Mace Windu like fully gave into his dark side, or they're pulling the bullshit force healing crap out of the wall again.
No, what I'm basing off of is when he got launched out of that building, he wasn't knocked out or anything, and we've seen Anakin and Obi-Wan jump off of mountains and use the Force to slow and catch their fall. They've because like in the series, I can't remember. I think it was who was it? There somebody there with, and Rex is like, get used to jumping out of things a lot. I think he was saying it to Ahsoka because they like jumped off a
Yeah, they've shown
huge
multiple
mountain.
times that that they've used the Force to break falls and whatever, and jump at extreme lengths and heights.
Yeah, so my point is Jedi have survived worse. And
That's
Mace
true.
Windu is incredibly powerful as far as Jedi go.
But to back to how Grogu got out, whenever Ahsoka was talking to the Mando about it and what Grogu's mind was saying, is that he was being, I can't remember if she said sheltered or protected or hidden in the temple on Coruscant. So that makes it seem like he wasn't actually being trained, but kept a secret for the most part. That's what I took from it.
Yoda and Yaddle's love child, got it.
Very well could be.
Yaddle, keep that thing hidden.
They massive hypocrite.
Were they actually not allowed to love, or not necessarily love, but were they not allowed to indulge
It's
in
just
those things?
attachment. It's just for sake of attachment. I don't think
Yeah.
so. There were a couple like Mundi. His species was not doing well, so I think he was able to.
Because that's what I'm wondering is could Jedi procreate as long as there was no attachment?
I'm not sure. I
Uh,
don't
I-
look into Jedi fucking rules.
well,
Yeah, it's
I
not
am
part of
sending
my
a letter to Dave
repertoire.
Filoni.
Dear George Lucas.
Are
Did
Jedi
Yoda fuck
allowed to
Yaddle?
fuck?
As long as they don't get attachments.
Or is it just Anakin that's not allowed to?
They can
Well,
be friends with benefits.
yeah, can they? Oh, jeez.
Fuck
I mean, it would
buddies,
make sense that they
husband and wife?
would.
No.
Okay, not that you would think that the Jedi Order would want that to increase their ranks of Force-sensitive children.
I mean, but it's stupid rules like that that also lead to the downfall of the Jedi. It's where we go into what Luke would call their hubris. Like they thought that they were smarter than what they were. I mean, they literally built their temple on top of a Sith temple.
Idiots.
Yeah.
They thought it was
That's
the
not the
ultimate
best.
teabag, but no.
Yeah. Joke's on them. The Sith are like, yeah, keep it up.
It's like, this is
We
perfect.
coming for your home.
This
The entire time Yoda's
Yoda's
like, shrouded in the dark side. It's like, well, blame your fucking ancestors for that.
Yeah. Well, I also
Or your
in the
predecessors.
in the animated series though, I thought it was kind of dumb that the Jedi, kind of uncovered the plot. They're just like, wait and see, we shall. It's like I don't think they would actually do that. Like I feel like they did that
There's
hastily.
there's several things that happen in the movies too. That's exactly what happens after episode 1. It's like, oh, the Sith are back, but let's just fucking wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and I don't get that at all. It's like,
It's
being
because they're
idle.
arrogant. It's
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
true.
arrogant. They think that they can take it.
And they definitely did not take it.
Negative.
They found out the hard way.
I'm kind of glad they did, though.
Yeah, fuck the Jedi.
Agreed. They're the bad guys all along.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes and no.
Well, listen to the beginning of every Clone Wars episode. It sounded like a World War II propaganda guy.
I know, I love it.
That was fuck, what's his name?
I know he was a character in the show.
It's an admiral. I forget his name.
Yeah.
The white-haired dude.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his character's
Admiral
name.
Valerian? No, it's not Valerian. That's Chancellor.
I was about to say, that's Chancellor.
I'm not gonna get stuck up on it.
Well, now I
Chancellor
am. So I'm
Valor.
just kidding.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Come to my
I just like
meditations.
there's more and more crap being canonized from Legends or new
Yeah.
Legends. Anyways.
Well, that's what's nice is, they can pick and choose what they want to bring back. The stuff
So
that makes
much
sense.
subject material for them to choose from. It's awesome.
A lot of the old legend stuff, and I might get crucified for this, was stupid.
There was a lot of stupid shit because, anyone could write Star Wars Legends.
So there were like 7 or 8 different storylines for Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was they all kind of would write over each other in a way that, oh, this is how it is. Just kidding, this is how it is. Like even George Lucas would go back and rewrite things and, basically uncanonize things that, people had written or he had written. And I think that was one of the big, complaints was why are you
Well,
doing
George
this?
Lucas,
Doesn't make sense.
he would also canonize a bunch of shit that didn't need to be canonized. Like there was one time he was on like a talk show, and the dude just made up a random planet name for Obi-Wan, and he's like, "Fuck it, that's canon."
So that sounds good. You did my job for me. No, I don't get me wrong. I like that they decanonized a massive amount because of the backtracking and overlapping that the legends had. But I'm also enjoying the fact that they're canonizing a large chunk like Revan and Nihilus and the Rise of
I say I
Skywalker.
don't think the Old Republic should have been decanonized. I
Oh,
think
not even
that
a
was
little bit.
perfectly fine the way it was. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they officially did it in the movie by
They
subtly mentioning
officially
them.
brought back their names. They didn't do anything other than that.
That's what I'm saying. They
Well,
officially canonized the characters, the actual people. That's one of the
yeah.
few good things that the Rise of Skywalker actually did.
No. I oh, I
Trash the
have mixed
movie.
feelings about all three of those. Like I loved them, but I hated them. All three of
The
them.
new
They all had
trilogy.
things I liked. Yeah, the
I
new
have
trilogy.
mixed feelings about 7 and 8, sure, and they're valid when I hear people's concerns about them. But all of the decisions in the Rise of Skywalker were just trying to retcon that, like decisions from the past two movies, or just completely bullshitting things on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the problem. Is it was a struggle of yeah.
They should have just stuck with one director. They should have had a planned out storyboard from the start, which they didn't.
Yeah.
You don't bullshit a main part of the trilogy.
You just don't
Well,
bullshit something
even
like Star Wars. Period.
I think
Jesus.
Ray's heritage should have stayed nobody.
Yeah. Well, like my big thing too is like George Lucas even like when he was writing his trilogy, he wrote out episodes 1, 2, and 3 as well while he went along. So I mean all that stuff had been started long before they ever were in development. So even
I was
George
about,
Lucas kind of
I was
did
about to say,
that.
but it wasn't. Yeah, I think
But
Ryan Johnson got way too much hate for the movie that he did. Because as a director, he's good.
oh yeah.
It's just he got shafted by stupid ass ideas.
I had to
Well, I think
rewatch episode 8 for my mind to be changed about it.
There are things that I would change about it. Canto Bite's a little bit too long, and they should have just killed Leia.
Yes. Yeah, I was talking about that with Hatch a few nights ago. I was ready for her to die. I was ready for Finn to die. Fucking
yeah.
Rose.
So
I hate Rose.
Finn is a weird story because they basically used John Boyega as a marketing scheme.
Just to have
It's
a
like,
black
hey, look
guy.
how inclusive. Look how inclusive we are. Our main character is black, and then they shelve him for the rest of the trilogy.
For the most
Yeah.
Like he's
Same
just a
with Rose.
background character.
Yeah, they kind of did that with Rose too to get her in the Chinese
part.
market.
She's a terrible. I hate her character so freaking much.
They didn't
You hate
build
her
up.
character because she was poorly executed.
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran didn't deserve to have death threats for playing Rose Tico.
Oh,
I don't
no,
understand why
definitely
she
not.
did. Like you're never gonna hear me agree with anything like that. I just don't.
Because no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
I get that, but death threats because of a character that serves zero purpose, and you're gonna give death threats. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's stupid.
The kid that played Anakin got death threats. An 8-year-old.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, that's why
stupid.
Hayden Christensen's living on a farm.
You'll never.
Yeah,
hear
he's
me
living his best
complain-
life.
You'll never hear me complain about his portrayal of Anakin or.
Oh, he did a good
struggling
job.
Darth Vader.
I blame I blame that on George
Yep,
Lucas.
the writing
Well, not. Yeah.
was terrible. His acting, I thought, was great. I could literally feel the pain coming from the screen.
Yep.
In that
Yeah.
instance, sure. But I'm in agony. I'm haunted by the kiss you never should have given me. It's
He's a little
fucking
emo.
It's
He's a
fucking
little emo.
terrible.
We all go through that emo phase.
But again, that goes back to fucking writing.
Well, and like Mark Hamill's always been critical of George Lucas's, directing skills in that aspect as well, as he brings that up about the disagreements they would have. So,
The individual.
yeah. So, I mean, what else was I gonna say on that? Like, I feel like too in the latest trilogy, they didn't really build up like there was no connection with the characters. It was just like, here's the characters, love them because we tell you to. It wasn't like with past ones we built up a relationship with these characters and built up like, oh, I really like them. Like Ahsoka when she first came in, I hated her, but as the series went on, she became my favorite character.
She was kind of
Absolutely,
annoying
like
to
this.
begin.
It did feel rushed. I will say that. But that's also how it's been for all of Star Wars. I mean, we like Luke because we grew up with him.
I
Like
don't
we
like
already
Luke.
know that their story. I'm just saying we already know that their story has been told. We have those original trilogy characters that we do enjoy.
Fuck that crack.
But I mean, I agree. They should have spent more time actually addressing who the characters are. With the direction of how the movies felt they were going after Episode 8, it felt like they were about to do like a narrative change or like a perspective change. I feel like it would have been the perfect time to switch from Rey's point of view to Kylo's.
Yeah, I liked Kylo more than I should.
I love Kylo Ren. I feel like Adam Driver played him amazingly.
Perfectly. Everyone
I
calls
guess
him
we just
Evil
like the
2.
villains.
Well,
You guess what?
We just like the villains.
I am a villain guy.
Well, the villains seem to be the only ones that are written properly.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, so what I was gonna say though about Ryan Johnson and his movie is I feel like they should have just like how they canned his project where he was gonna make his own stuff. Like they should have let that go on. Like I feel like the biggest issue with that is he wanted to make his own Star Wars movie, and he did, and everyone's like, "Whoa, you ignored everything from the other movie and you did your own thing." So it's like if he would have had a chance to just do his own thing separate, I think everybody would have been like, "This is the best Star Wars that's ever existed."
Absolutely. His trilogy hasn't been canned. It's still on the storyboard.
Okay, I heard it was canned
Yeah,
because
same.
I loved I loved the visuals. I loved the way he executed the scenes, but I did not like how the story played out. Like I felt like there's a lot of things that were like it was leading up to this, and then you
Again,
ignored it.
what do you go off of with nothing but fan service in episode 7? Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed episode 7, but it was pure fan service. There wasn't really too much more to go off of.
I would have to rewatch them to kind of refresh my memory because it's been quite a while. But I remember there's a few things where I was like, "Well, I thought it was leading to this. They really hinted towards this," and you know. So I don't have a real good argument right now because I've kind of pushed my complaints to the side because I would rather love Star Wars and appreciate that it's been brought back in such a powerful way than focus on these things I hate, you know. 'Cause
No,
it's
and
like
that's why I'm still super hype about Star Wars. Like the Rise of Skywalker did kill my drive for Star Wars for a while, but with Mandalorian and the games and everything, like it's slowly coming back.
I think that's what's going to save Star Wars is the series they're making like Kenobi. Oh, I'm
I cannot
excited.
wait for that.
Yeah, I could
And
not
they're
be
bringing
more
Ewan
excited.
McGregor back.
The perfect
So.
Obi-Wan.
That's
Oh.
fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, his brother is in the what is it, the British Air Force?
Yeah, the Royal Air Force.
Wedge Antilles is his uncle.
I can't remember.
Like his uncle is Wedge from the original trilogy.
Which actor? Sorry, it broke out.
Wedge Antilles.
Is whose uncle?
Ewan McGregor's.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know that. No. I love the little obscure things.
Hold on, everybody shut up. Hold on. Just be quiet.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. You know, hit that bell, motherfuckers.
And we did start the episode by telling people to go fuck themselves.
I don't think we should make that a regular
So
occurrence.
something close to that.
Like, subscribe. I don't
Excuse
fucking
me,
care if
go
you do.
fuck yourself. Hey, welcome to Star Wars. Go fuck yourself. Okay, so are we like transitioning into something here?
Trying to transition
All right.
into ending it.